very friendly to the residence palace. It's not what I would call a well-organized place. My name is Cristina Marconi. I work for the Italian news agency Epicon. We don't have to come very early in the office because the Italian newspapers usually they close very, very late in the night. So, the day starts like at 3 in the afternoon. So we come in the office at about 10:30, 11, and then the only really important thing we have to do every day is, of course, the briefing at 12. And after that, we try to go out for lunch with sources or people from the commission or lawyers, and people can tell us stories. And in the afternoon, we write our stories. And usually we don't go out before 8:30, 9. And so this is the typical day. What is really important for us is not so much to have the quote of the commissioners, but to have the papers to try to anticipate the decisions of the commission and the parliament and so on. So, it's very difficult to understand who can be your source, because of course everybody is very young and everybody works for organizations. They can be sources, but it's strange to imagine it at first, because in Italy usually the sources are 80-year-old and kind of very powerful people, and it's not the same here in Brussels, because you have this big community of lobbyists, and everybody knows everything, so it's quite easy to find and to let people talk about things which are going on. The websites of many newspapers, they put on the front page sometimes news which are made in a very, very shallow way. They're not very, of course, they aren't written from people who are in Brussels. So sometimes they just keep the news and make it very superficially, saying that Brussels is complaining about something or says that something is good, and sometimes it's not true. You just have to find out a way to write the same thing, but in a good way, without, And this is maybe the hardest part of the work, because they really have a very superficial vision of Brussels from the world, and so it's very hard to understand and to explain how complicated and sometimes technical are the decisions, and not so just
What do you try to do with your stories to make it more exciting and more interesting to Italian people, that they are so far away from this big European Commission and things happen so slowly here, and especially with economics? What do you try to do to make more exciting stories each day?
But they are exciting in a way that they don't need to be made more exciting, because in fact they influence a lot the Italian debate. So I think they can come as they are, and they're fine. There is because Brussels is the Commission, Parliament are seen like really strong authorities, and even if there are think tanks, as I was saying before. So they are seen as very much authoritative, so you don't have to say, you're sure that if you write a paper coming from Brussels about a decision that the European Union takes on wine or whatever, it will be on the newspapers. So it's not necessary to make them more sexy.
What's your favorite restaurant in Brussels?
My favorite restaurant in Brussels is the Saint Boniface, in Place Saint Boniface, which is a French restaurant, and I think it's very good, but it's